What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb, and welcome to the Rehab Christian Center Sunday morning virtual experience. And I'm grateful to be here with you on this cold fall Sunday. I think it is officially fall, but it is good to see all of you virtually. Listen, if you're tuned in, make sure you say good morning and go ahead and start sharing this video, encouraging other people to tune in. Really excited to close up this sermon series. If you're scared, get in my pocket. It's been powerful. And this is, I think, week 3 for us. And so really excited about how this series has really opened up Pandora's box to so many lessons on leadership and really finding courage and strength to go and be and to become what you are, what you will be. And so I hope it's been as much of a blessing to you as it has to me. But it is good to see you this morning virtually, and just grateful to have your presence here. I know, especially for those of you that are local to Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, it is homecoming weekend. And I say this every year. I know my members, so I know where they were all weekend and all week, but certainly praying that you all will tune in, and go ahead and start adding people and tell them to tune in. Don't have a very long message because we only have a few more verses left. We have been in 1 Samuel chapter number 17 and only have a few verses left. I think verses 20 through, we end at 45. And so we start at verse 40 today, or somewhere around there. And so again, it's just been a great series, and just certainly grateful that you all have tuned in and been a part of this series for the last 3 weeks. So again, start liking this video, sharing this video quickly. When I go through this lesson, I'll get right out of your way. And I know many of you have Halloween plans later, or trunk or treat or plans later, or whatever. Your Hallelujah Night week plans. I'm not going to mess with y'all. Whatever your plans are, I just want you to be safe today and this weekend as you continue to do what you do. So let's go through the networks. Can we do that? I want to go through the networks. I knew you were coming from me, Swan. Let's go through the networks and welcome everybody. Facebook, good morning to you. It is good to see you virtually. Those of you that are tuned in via Facebook, good morning to you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for joining us this morning. If you're on Facebook, I want you to hit that like button. If you really enjoy this broadcast, I want you to hold that like button down, turn it to a love button, and then I want you to hit that share button, hit that @ symbol, and tag 5 people. Tell them to tune in this morning. Also, Facebook, if you're tuned in, make sure you say good morning in the chat area. Let us know that you're tuned in, and we would certainly love that. I tell you, it has just been a blessing. So much feedback through our Facebook channel. So many people tuning in and really being blessed by this ministry and the messages and the lessons that we teach. And again, it is my prayer that they not only impact you in a spiritual way, but that they are so practical that it really transforms your life in a meaningful way. And so I'm just grateful for what God has given us here. And I'm just so grateful for your faithfulness and for sharing this ministry. So again, I know it's homecoming season. I already can tell that it's homecoming season, but I want you to hit that @ symbol, tag 5 people, tell them to tune in so that we can get going this morning. Instagram, good morning to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you that are tuned in via Instagram, thank you so much for joining us, sharing with us today. Our Instagram numbers have really been off the charts the last couple of weeks. This has been a very powerful message. Not only people tuning in, but people following and supporting our page. If you have not followed us on any of our networks, if you have not followed us on Instagram, you can follow us at The Rehab Experience. That's at The Rehab Experience on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, I see them filling it up with hearts now. Thank you for doing that. Do me a favor. I want you to hit that @ symbol if you're on Instagram. If you're tuned in right now, hit that @ symbol. I want you to tag 5 people and tell them to tune in. If you're watching the replay on any of our networks, I want you to still hit that @ symbol, tag 5 people, tell them to go back and watch this broadcast, and we promise it's going to be a blessing. Again, we are dealing with part 3. If you are scared, get in my pocket. And again, this has just been a very powerful series. And I'm just grateful for those of you via Instagram that have tuned in and really supported us heavily over the last 3 weeks. I tell you, it's just been a blessing, and so much great feedback coming from Instagram, people sharing our videos, tagging us in videos. We encourage you to do that. And we are grateful again, Instagram, for your support. YouTube, good morning to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're tuned in via YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in this morning. It is my prayer that you are blessed, that your week has been blessed, and that all is well with you. Thank you so much for following us on YouTube, subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have not done that, you can find us on YouTube at The Rehab CC. Just simply type The Rehab CC, no spaces, one big old word, and you can find our YouTube channel there. And not only that, you can go back and read through go through all of the archives of our video messages for the last 16, 17 months, I believe. It's been a while. You can see all of those videos and go back and really binge watch a lot of the messages that we've shared, and we promise you it'll be a blessing to you. So thank you for tuning in via YouTube. Those of you that are on YouTube, we appreciate that. Do us a favor, hit that share button if you're on YouTube. I want you to share this video to your social media networks, to your family, to your friends. And again, if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell notification icon so you can be notified, just as I am. When I go live, I always get the notification here that the church is live. And so it's great. You can get that notification that we're live as a little reminder to tune in. And so thank you so much for tuning in and for sharing with us this morning. All right, y'all. I'm giving you 30 more seconds. I want you to start sharing this video if you have not already, because again, we're going to walk through. I knew the attendance would be low this morning. I'm very much aware of what's going on in our town locally. But again, just grateful for the opportunity to share with you, and certainly prayerful that all is well with you, that you've had a tremendous weekend, and that you're preparing for a great non-ghetto week ahead. All right. And so we're grateful to see you today. Let's get through the declaration. I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to get through the declaration and to finish this series today. Really going to give you some great nuggets as we finish this series. And so let's prepare for declaration. If this is your first time tuning into the Rehab Christian Center, every single Sunday, we walk through our declaration. Many people ask, what does REHAB stand for? Is it an acronym for anything? And it is: restore, evangelize, hope, alternatives, breakthrough. It is the 5 pillars by which we attempt to operate as a ministry, whether it's through teaching, service, whatever. And so we walk through this declaration every Sunday because we believe that the power of life and death is connected to the words you say. And not only that, but the emotion and the spirit, the energy behind which you put those or say those words. And so we're going to walk through the declaration, and I encourage all of you, if you're laying down, if you're at brunch, if you're on your way to brunch, if you're at the beach, wherever you are, if you're hungover, literally, I want you to stop what you're doing. And I want you to repeat this declaration with me, because I'm here to tell you, you have the ability right now to set the tone for your entire week by the words you say and the manner in which you say it. And so again, let's prepare for the declaration. If you are tuned in via Facebook and YouTube, you can see it on the screen. If you're on Instagram, unfortunately, we have not figured out how to get it there. But I promise you, especially as we go to a hybrid schedule in the future, we're going to figure that out so that you can follow along on Instagram as well. All right. If you're on Instagram, you can just simply repeat after me. I read this, but I always pause to give each of you time to repeat after me. So let's go through the declaration. All right. If you're with me, say it with me. Restore. We declare that everything that is broken, lost, hurt, or destroyed that belongs to us and has been designed by God is restored. My faith is restored. My joy is restored. My mind is restored. Even my lost time is restored. I am no longer broken. The fact that I'm alive means I have another chance. My faith has restored me, and right now, His love is making me whole. Evangelize. Say it with me. We declare that God helped us so we can help somebody else. He loved me when I was unlovable. He changed me when I was a mess. His love lifted me when I was down. I'm not perfect, but I'm free. And anything that came for me can't keep me. Because I'm free, my circle is next. My family is saved. My friends are blessed. My plans are successful. My goals are ahead of schedule. And anything connected to me is blessed, just like me. Hope, say it with me. We declare that everything that is missing is not lost. In Jesus, I have hope. And this hope makes me confident. It doesn't matter what happens to me or around me, I'm going to win. My relationships are winning. My goals are winning. My family is winning. My neighbor is winning. This city will win, and my row has the victory. My past is defeated, and my future is brighter today than it was yesterday. Alternatives. Repeat it with me. We declare that God made us different. I'm a royal child, the light of the world, and the hope of my city. I respect the past, but I don't look like what I've been through. I love the church, and my life is balanced. I love coming to church, but I like flights, boats, and vacations. My whole life is blessed. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am a lender, not a borrower. And every place I go belongs to me. Breakthrough. Say it with me. We declare that God has a breakthrough with our name on it. I have some challenges, but I am not defeated. No weapon formed against me can prosper. And I know that all things are working for my good. Things are not breaking down, they are about to break through. There is a breakthrough in my career. There is a breakthrough in my home. There is a breakthrough in my health. There is a breakthrough in my finances. I am here on purpose, for a purpose, and everything that went wrong is getting ready to turn around. Did you make those declarative statements with me today? If you did, do me a favor, type in the comments quickly. It's already done. Do it fast. It's already done. It's already done. Folks, tomorrow is the 11th month of this year. And literally every since January 1st of this year, every single Sunday of this year, we've been making this same declaration. It's already done. Somebody today needs to be encouraged to understand that it does not matter how grim your life looks. It does not matter the challenges you have going on in your life. It does not matter the odds that are stacked against you. It does not even matter the predicament you have put yourself in. The good news is God's bigger than all of that. God is greater than all of that. He's more powerful than all of that. And your job is to simply declare one thing. It's already done. Everything you need God to do for you, everything you need God to work out for you, everything you want him to fix for you, I want you to know today, it's already done. Good. Come on, say it with me. It's already done. Instagram is rolling this morning. Facebook, YouTube, declare it in the comments. It's already done. Tag somebody. Tell them to wake up and then tell them it's already done. This thing is powerful because we serve a God that it doesn't matter if it's December 31st, 11:59 p.m. If he said he's going to do it this year, he's going to get the job done. And your job is to believe that it's already done. Come on, declare it now. It's already done. It's already done. God's making a way. He's opening doors. He's meeting needs for you, your family, and everything concerning you. And I want you to believe it. All right. It's already done. Now, I'm ready to get into the message. Before I do that, let me share something with you really quickly. Tomorrow, 10:08 p.m. will be Rehab After Dark. will be Rehab After Dark. You asked for this Tuesday. We got into a very intense conversation Tuesday on our life study as we've been in the series Stop Making Everything So Hard. And we were talking about childhood wounds. And we really got into a deep conversation about how the things that happened to you as a child impact your life as an adult, as a teenager, and as a grandparent, as a parent, as a husband, as a wife, whatever. And we were really starting to get into some intense conversation. And I had to stop the conversation, one, because my kids were right here looking me in the face. And I'm very sensitive to the fact that so many things can happen to you as a child that can impact what happens to you as an adult. And many of you put up in the comments, Pastor, do a Rehab After Dark, do another one after dark. And it's been a few months since we've done this. And so I'm going to teach part 3 of Stop Making Everything So Hard tomorrow night, 10:08 p.m. Eastern Time. 10:08 p.m. Eastern Time. That gives all of you time to put the kids in the bed. My kids' bedtime is 9 o'clock on a school night. And so that gives me time to get them to bed, me to get showered, get ready to come and share with you. And so tomorrow night, 10:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on all of our networks. Normally, we just do it on YouTube. We're going to do it on all networks, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Part 3 of Stop Making Everything So Hard. And we're going to continue this childhood wounds conversation. All right. Now, I'm not going to do this in substitute of life study. We will still have life study on Tuesday, and we'll do part 4 on Tuesday, and we will keep going in the study with part 4 on Tuesday. So in essence, Pastor is giving y'all a mini virtual revival because I've got to teach today. I've got to teach tomorrow night. I've got to teach Tuesday night, and then I've got to teach for a friend of mine on his virtual conference Wednesday night. And so I'll be teaching today, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then again, I got to speak somewhere on Friday. So this is going to be a blistering week for me, but I did not want to let you down. Tomorrow, 10:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Rehab After Dark, part 3 of Stop Making Everything So Hard. And I want you to come with an open heart and a prayerful spirit, because we're going to really dive into some of these specific childhood wounds. And I'm probably going to give you 3 very common childhood wounds that happen to a lot of people. And these are going to be things that resonate with many of you that are going to be too sensitive for your young people to hear. All right. So put the kids in the bed. All right. Put the kids in the bed. Make plans to meet me tomorrow, 10:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for Stop Making Everything So Hard, part 3. And this is going to be powerful. You asked for it. I'm going to give it to you. And again, I want you to come prepared tomorrow spiritually, mentally, emotionally, for what will be a very powerful and explosive conversation. And I promise you, I'm going to keep it at 60 minutes. So we won't be on all night. We're going to keep it at 60 minutes. We're going to get off the line. But meet me tomorrow for Rehab After Dark, 10:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. I want you to type in the comments now. If you're scared, get in my pocket. I got to switch gears mentally. If you're scared, get in my pocket. This is part 3. I want you to type it in the comments now. And we are going to be starting at 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse number 40. All right. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse number 40. And moderators, I know I got y'all all over the place today, but I appreciate your patience so much that I had to get out this morning about that. And I didn't want anybody confused. We will again be back Tuesday for life study. And so you're getting a revival this week. You're going to be tuned into any of our networks and even my personal network. I think the service that I'm doing Wednesday, that's a virtual service, is going to be streamed on my personal social media, I believe. But I'll have some additional details and make sure we get that out there later. And so you're talking today, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday of teaching. And those of you that are locally that want to join me in Winston-Salem, you should have seen that information on our website. Not on our website, on my personal social media. We'll make sure we get that to the church website as well. So very busy week for me, and certainly hope you'll be praying for me. All right, 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 40. Look at this, all right? Verse 40. Now, before we get into this, all right, I'm in the New Living Translation, by the way. Before we get into this, remember, I want to leave you with this. Remember, we talked about so many nuggets last week regarding this story But one of the things that we really hit on and took some time to hit on was this whole idea of not confusing an audience with support, right? Not confusing an audience with support, not confusing people who listen to you or who are around you for people who support you, for people who believe in you, right? Because it's not the two, it's not the same. Those are not the same things. You can be surrounded by a lot of people and be by yourself. And I have lived that firsthand for many, 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 many years of my life, where literally you can have people who know you from the ends of the world, it seems like. But when you really most need people, you can't find nobody, right? And so it's this whole idea that David is preparing to fight this giant, and he's surrounded by a whole lot of men, but all of them are scared. All right. He's getting ready to fight a giant. He's surrounded by all of these men, but all of them are scared. All right. And so, again, let's not confuse an audience with support. Let's not confuse people being there with people being there for you, because people can be there and not necessarily be there for you. That's probably worth recording, right? People can be there and not necessarily be there for you. Those are two totally different things. And I'm in a season of my life. I don't know what season any of you are in, but I'm personally in a season of my life where I really don't need people to be there. I need people to be there for me. Those are two totally different things. Because if you are there for me, watch this, you don't even have to be there. Listen to me. If you are there for me, you don't necessarily have to be there. What are you saying? That means if you're there for me, we don't have to talk every day, right? If somebody's there for you, they don't have to talk to you every day. If somebody's there for you, they don't have to call you every day. Y'all don't have to go to brunch every week. Y'all don't have to have a standing date night. Whether it's friends or it's romantic. Y'all don't have to have a standing date night and day and time every week. No, people can be there for you on demand, and people can be there and be in your face all the time, but when you need them most, never be there. And David had this challenge because David's about to fight a giant, and he's surrounded by a lot of people who are there, but ain't there for him. All right. And so I need you to move into this season that Dr. Zeb is in. And I'm being very candid with you. In fact, I'm in a season where really I'm understanding the value that less really is more. It don't take a whole lot of people. It don't take a whole lot of resources. Frankly, it doesn't even take a whole lot of support for you to be who you need to be, for you to go in the direction you need to go in. Y'all tag 5 people, tell them to tune in. This is a good introduction. For you to walk in your purpose and your assignment, you don't need a lot of people around you. You don't. In fact, I'm discovering that the less people you have around you, probably the better, because you have less distractions. You got less people you got to worry about. You got less people you got to try, to be there for. You got less people you got to try to be stressed out over. Look, less is more. Downsizing, I told a group of students this week, downsizing is the new upgrade. The new upgrade in 2021 and going into 2022 is this whole concept that I don't need a lot of anything in order to be okay. That's including money. The reality is many of us are asking God for more money. This ain't got nothing to do with David yet, per se. Kind of, sort of. Yes, it does. It's got a lot to do with the story. Many of us are asking God for more money, more resources. Give me more this, more property, more, more cars, more all of this materials. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with those things. But the reality is, and this is a very simple question, have you used to the fullest extent everything God has given you? Because I've discovered if you look at the money you've got and look at the money you waste, you probably have enough money already to do what it is that you need to do, right? And so is the prayer really, God, give me more? Or is the prayer, God, keep me where I am, or if necessary, decrease, downsize my spending so that I can be what I want to be, so that I can have what I want to have? It's the truth. Sometimes we don't need more. Sometimes we just need to do better with what we already got. And sometimes God needs to cut back what we have so that we can do better. All right. And so downsizing is the new upgrade. And David understood this firsthand, that while he had an audience, he didn't have a lot of support. Right. While he was surrounded by a lot of people, He didn't have a lot of people that really had him. All right. While he was connected to some people, and listen to me, God knows, listen to me. I learned this like it was like somebody slapped me in the face this week. I learned this firsthand this week. You can literally be around people who have been around you the whole time and discover that they were never there none of the time. Are y'all listening to me? Have you ever been around somebody and known somebody even since childhood? Have you ever known somebody for years and years and years on end just to discover that while they were there the whole time, they really weren't there none of the time? Right? And so do not confuse people being there the whole time with support, because it just ain't the same. All right. And this is what David had to discover. But what I like is David's attitude. And this is this. Here's the second point I want you to record. Notice David's attitude. When David discovers that the men that are around him are an audience, but are not support, David didn't get an attitude. David didn't take it personal. David didn't cuss all the men out. David did not lose his integrity or lose his peace because he made this discovery. When David, what in the world is that walking in my yard? What kind of animal is that? When David discovered that the men were not there for him, David kept his composure. I want you to record this. In this season of greatness you're walking into, right, where things might get shaky. Well, y'all ain't got to type all of this, right? Where things might get shaky and people might get flaky, and the audience you discover is just an audience and not support. In this season that you're walking to, this is what I need you to record. Under no circumstances, don't lose your composure. Under no circumstances, don't lose your composure. You got to lock in on your purpose. You got to lock in on what it is you've been designed to be. You got to lock in on what it is you've been called to do. You have to lock in on the assignment that God gave you. You have to lock in on the purpose that you know you have for your life, the plans, the goals, the dreams that you have for your life. And under no circumstances can you lose your composure. Don't lose your composure in this season. I'm telling you from firsthand experience. You will get to a place in your life. You will get to a point in your life. You will get to a season in your life where you literally get this close, like this close to obtaining what it is that you have been working towards, to obtaining your goals, your dreams, your purpose, your vision, whatever. And the devil will throw another curveball just to make sure you're prepared for what it is you're about to walk into. And I'm telling you, you can't let people, situations, circumstances cause you to lose your composure in this season or now other season. I said now other or now other season that you're in. Do not lose your composure. You got to stay composed. They didn't believe in David. They were surrounded by him. They didn't have the courage to fight themselves. And when they got scared, when they called the king on David, he didn't get an attitude. He kept his composure. You got to keep your composure. I'm here to tell you, the devil's job is not to stop you from going to church. It's not to stop you from tuning into this broadcast. It's not to stop you from walking in a building. It's not to stop you from praying. That's not the devil's job. The devil's job is not to stop you from praying. The devil's job is to make you lose your composure. Because if the devil gets you to lose your composure, then all the other stuff is going to happen. You're not going to pray. You're not going to be focused. You're not going to pursue your goals. You're not going to pursue your purpose. In fact, you will set your purpose to the side and you will pursue other things in the pursuit of happiness, in the pursuit of fulfillment, in the pursuit of wholeness. If the devil makes you lose your composure, you can't lose your composure. You can lose friends. You can even lose money. You can lose your job, but don't lose your composure. Because if you lose your composure, you're going to eventually lose everything. Right? So in the season of your life, don't lose your composure. Doesn't matter who's around you, who's not around you. Doesn't matter who's with you or who flaked. Don't lose your composure, right? And keep the main thing the main thing. All right, good. Now, 1 Samuel for real, chapter 17, verse 40, New Living Translation. All right, this is good. I hope this is blessing you. And make sure, again, You tag 5 people, tell them to tune in. All right. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 40. I'm in the New Living Translation. Says this: He, David, picked up 5 smooth stones from a stream and put them into his shepherd's bag. Then, armed only with his shepherd's staff and sling, he started across the valley to fight the Philistine. Now, again, this isn't going to be a long message because we're at the end today. But again, as you can see, I already got some valuable nuggets for you. All right. Look at verse 41. Goliath walked out toward David. Watch this. With his shield bearer ahead of him. Verse 42. Sneering in contempt. He's laughing in contempt at this ruddy-faced boy. Verse 43. Am I a dog, he roared at David, that you come at me with a stick? And he cursed David by the names of his gods. So Goliath sees David pursue him, not with a sword, not with a shield, not with Saul's armor. Remember, Saul tried to give David his armor. David put it on, but David was like, nah, this ain't my thing. Like this don't even fit me. I don't need that I don't need that. That it may have worked for you. It ain't necessarily gonna work for me, right? So he comes out here with a shepherd's bag that's got 5 rocks in it, a slingshot, and a staff that Goliath calls a stick. And Goliath said, am I a dog or something? Like, you out here to fight me like I'm a dog, right? And he laughs at him. Look at this. Verse 44. Come over here. This is Goliath talking. And I'll give your flesh to the birds and wild animals, Goliath yelled. Verse 45. Look at this. And we're moving. You can see. Verse 45. David replied to the Philistine, you come to me with sword, spear, and javelin. Here we go. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you had defied. Now, this is a good stopping point. Notice this. David takes Goliath's attention off of the weapons that he has, and he reminds Goliath that he's there and he has somebody on his side that's bigger than what's in his hand. I want you to record this. I want you to record this, because when you are going after your purpose, when you are going after the vision, after the plans, after the dreams in your life that seem bigger than you, watch this. This is important. Who's with you will always be bigger than what you have. Who's with you will always be bigger than what you have. When you're going after your dreams, your goals, your vision, your purpose, the things that you mapped out for your life, who is with you will always be bigger than what you have. Whether that's what you have in your hand, whether that's what you got in your bank account. Who's with you will always be bigger than what you have. See, some of you have not, and let me just give you the easiest example to make this make sense. Some of you ain't started a business because you're waiting on resources. You're waiting on money. And your Goliath is the lack of resources. You don't have money. So you're saying, I can't go fight and do this business and start this business and launch this business until somebody writes me a $20,000 check or gives me all of this great support. And I'm here to tell you, oftentimes when it comes to even starting a business, it's not about the resources you have. It's about the vision that you have in your heart, the purpose that you know God's given you, and knowing that who's with you is bigger than what's in your hand. Whether it's a business or anything else in your life that you are attacking, you've got to take the same mentality. Many of you, so many of you, have allowed external circumstances, what you don't have, to impact what you pursue. You don't have a PhD or master's degree, so you won't pursue the career that requires that. You don't have certain resources, so you won't pursue certain ideas. And I'm here to tell you, if you're ever waiting on life to create a perfect match for you to move, then you'll never move. I've discovered this, that when it comes to defeating the Goliaths in your life, this is what I've discovered from personal circumstances, from personal situations. When it comes to defeating Goliaths in your life, rarely will things line up perfectly for you to go into the battle. It's rare. It's rare you're going to go into these battles to accomplish these great things where everything is going to be perfect in your life. that hardly ever happens. If you're waiting on perfect circumstances to fight, if you're waiting on perfect circumstances to pursue, if you're waiting on perfect circumstances to go after what it is that you want to do, I'm here to tell you, you'll never move. You'll never, if you're waiting on perfect circumstances to go back to school, you'll never go back to school. Okay. If you're waiting on perfect circumstances to enter into a relationship, you'll never get in a relationship. If you're waiting on perfect circumstances to start a business, you'll never start a business. There is no such thing normally as perfect circumstances. And David is proof here, because David did not have perfect circumstances, but he discovered something that has personally carried me through all kinds of battles. And that's this, that when you understand that who you have with you is bigger than what you have, you can't fail. And somebody needs to know that today, because some of you are up against a great Goliath in your life, but you're looking for perfect circumstances. And I'm here to tell you, stop looking for perfect circumstances. You don't need perfect circumstances to win in the season. What you need is to make sure you got him with you. Now, here's the problem. I would be afraid if my circumstances weren't right and I didn't have God. Are y'all listening to the old man? I would be really afraid if my circumstances weren't good, my resources weren't lined up, things weren't lined up in my favor, and I didn't have God. Because if you ain't got no money and you ain't got God, you in trouble. Right? If you don't have the resources you need and you don't have God, you got a problem. You actually have a problem on your hands. So I get that, right? If you don't have resources and God, be scared, be very afraid. All right. But if you got God and you don't have resources, so what? So what? Even think about what the prophet says in the book of Habakkuk. He says, listen, write the vision, make it plain. He didn't say go to the bank and then write it. That's not what he said. He didn't say go to the bank, get approved for the loan, and then write the vision. No, he said, write the vision, make it plain, so that they that read it may read it and run and not faint, which means some people are going to read your vision before you get resources. When they catch the vision, they're going to give you the resources you need to execute the vision. I just gave y'all a whole word. I'm going to say that again slow. Some of you have a vision to do great things, but you ain't got the resources. You don't have the support. And God is saying, write the vision. Don't write the resources. Don't go after the resources. Go after the vision. And when people that you need to catch the vision, then the resources are going to follow the vision. Okay? So you don't need to have everything perfectly lined up. David understood this. And this is why David was not afraid from the beginning, because he knew that if he went to battle, if there was one thing he knew he could count on, he knew he had God. Y'all ready? Here's another bullet point. And this one right here, make you shout. You ready? I want you to record this. At the end of the day, you can always count on God. Indeed. Somebody needs to hear this very practical, basic word. At the end of the day, I don't care what Goliath is in your life. I'm here to tell you, stop counting how many guns you got. Stop counting your resources. Stop counting how much money in your bank account. Stop counting how many people are there for you. Stop counting how many people call you and who don't. Stop counting how many people showed up at your party who didn't. Stop counting all the people who let you down. Forget that. You wasting time and energy. At the end of the day, you can always count on God. And baby, if you can count on God, that's all you really ever need to move forward in the vision. Because watch this. Watch this. Sometimes you got to count on God before you can count people. If you ever want to be able to count the people, you got to first be able to count on God. Because some people will never believe in you until they see God is with you. There's another bullet point. Record this, right? Tuh all day. I'm in a tuh mood. Listen, there's some people that'll never support you until they see God with you. You can give them the vision all day, but they will never see that God is with. They will never support you until they see God is with you. And then when they see God with you and God got you, all of a sudden, you're the best thing since sliced bread. All of a sudden, your vision and your plan for your life, it's just a wonderful thing. Well, here's the reality. It was wonderful before you saw it. But you just didn't have the faith, So you had to see God before you could see me. You had to see God before you could see my vision. You had to see God before you could see my purpose. You had to see God before you could see what I've been seeing. So I'm here to tell you, some people will never support you until they see God is with you. And listen, don't you take that personal. Don't take it personal. Don't get in your feelings about it. Just because they can't see him don't mean he ain't there. Are y'all listening to me? Just because they can't see him does not mean he ain't there. Don't take that personal. You stay focused on your purpose. You stay focused on the vision that you have, and understand that some people, for real, some people cannot see that God is with you, or won't believe in your vision, won't believe in your purpose until they see that God is with you. And when they do, everything is going to change. Everything is going to work out. Support from all corners of the world is going to work. And listen, sometimes y'all, straight up, I'm going to just be honest with you. Y'all counting the people that's near you. You counting the people around you. You counting your family. You counting the people, your BFFs and the folks you grew up with. Let me tell you how God works. And this is the God's honest truth. When God is with you, let me tell you what he does. Sometimes he skips your circle and he goes outside of it. Sometimes God skips your circle. He skips the people that's closest to you. Friends, family, church, relationship folks, friends, whatever. Don't matter. He skipped all of them people and he goes out and builds support among people that are nowhere near you, who never even met you. He'll send people who don't know who you are, who have never met you a day in your life, to give you the support that you need. And then all of a sudden, when that support comes, the people that are around you all of a sudden catch the vision. All of a sudden, the people that are around you catch the idea. Listen, y'all, there's some people that's too close to you to see that God is with you. There's another bullet point you can record. There are some people that are too close to you to see the God in you. Are y'all listening to me? There are some people that are too close to you to see the God in you. You know why? They're too familiar. The familiar spirit. Look at David. David had to overcome a familiar spirit. David, what you gonna do, man? You out here tending sheep. You young. How you gonna go fight this giant? This is the men talking to him the last couple of weeks. How you gonna go out here and fight this giant? You young, tending sheep. The problem is the men, the soldiers could not see the God in David because they were too close to him. And there's a lot of people that can't see your vision and can't catch your purpose because they know you. All they know you is a little such and such from the block, a little such and such that they grew up with, or a little such and such that used to be here, a little such and such that used to do this. And people, their lens of you is only as wide as their experience with you. And you can't take that personal. Don't take it personal. Some people will only be able to see you to the extent of their experience with you. And that's all right. Stop trying to convince folk that God's with you. Just keep them with you. I learned a long time ago. I mean, a long, way before rehab was thought of. I learned a very long time ago that the best way to have a fulfilled life when it comes to your purpose and the visions you have for your life and the goals and the aspirations you have for your life is to stop trying to get support and just take God with you. Just take him with you. And if you take him with you, then all of a sudden, he's sending support from the north, south, east, and west. People that you never know, people you've never met. There are people today that support me more that I have never met in person, face to face. Listen to me. I'm just giving you my own personal testimony. Maybe this will help you. There are people that support me today that I have more today that I've never met a day in my life, ever. Like face to face, never met. May have talked to them as a result of them seeing my work, seeing my ministry, whatever, may have met them that way. But there are people that I've never met a day in my life who support me more than people who have known me since I've been born. I'm just telling you what I know. There are people that support even my ministry, that learn about my ministry in COVID more than people who walked in the door when the physical doors opened, 8 years ago. Y'all measuring support the wrong way. It don't matter to people around you. When God with you, he sends you what you need until the people around you catch up. And there's a whole lot of y'all that's got some people around you that just need to catch up. And here you are questioning if God is with you. Stop questioning if God with you. It ain't that God ain't with you. It's just that the people around you need to catch up. Somebody told me that this week, and it blessed my life. He said, Zeb, listen, don't you ever question if God is with you, because your ideas and your vision is so visionary, and it's so unique, and it's so out of the box, and it's so forward thinking. He said, greatness, when you got a great purpose, sometimes it takes people time to catch up. And that's the season. No arrogance. That's just the season I'm in. I'm in a season where I'm literally waiting for people to catch up. And when you understand that, you don't question whether or not, you don't question the vision. You don't question your purpose. You don't question where you're heading. You just keep God with you. Okay? So it be like that sometimes, where God literally sends support outside of the circle to validate what it is that he's doing in you, and just to remind you that he is with you. But don't question your purpose because people can't see it. Again, I can't say it enough. Some people will never support you until they see God is with you, or until they believe. That's probably the better way to put it. Not see, until they believe as God is with you. Because some people see it, they just don't want to believe it. Are y'all? That's a word. Are y'all listening to me? There's some people that can see God with you, they just don't want to believe God with you. They don't want to believe that. How can God support something like that? How can God support somebody like that, with a history like that, with a past like that? Am I talking to anybody here that's got a past? How can God support somebody like you with a past? With the past you got, with the struggles you got, with the problems you've been in, with the situations you put yourself in, with the flaws you have, with the mistakes you've made, with the stuff you did on purpose, how can God support it? How could God even support somebody like that? So it ain't that they can't see it. So my statement is flawed. It ain't that they can't see that God is with you. They don't believe it. And some people will never support you. Here's the right statement. Some people will never support you until they believe God is with you. They see it because you prospering. They see it because you blessed. They see it because doors are opening for you. They see it because new opportunities are opening for you. They see it because great things are happening in your life. The problem is they don't believe it. They don't believe it. And that's okay. Stop trying to make people believe that God with you. Stop trying to make people believe that God on your side. Don't, I ain't convincing nobody in no season of my life, but especially this one. Let Pastor talk about him. Especially this season that I'm in. I'm not convincing none of you Negroes that God is with me. No, you can look at me and tell he with me. You can see how blessed I am and tell he with me. You can see how prosperous I am and tell he's with me. You can see the doors that are open, if you knew, because I don't talk to a whole lot of y'all. The doors he's open for me, that God with me. Listen, I'm not in a season of trying to convince none of y'all of none of that. The problem is you just got to believe it. And that's the problem. Some of you are trying to convince folk and they can see it. You're trying to get them to see. Open your eyes and see. No, they see. They see that. You got to stop trying to convince them to see it and just understand that at the end of the day, until they believe it, it'll never work. Are y'all listening to me? I told you, tough is my new word. I mean it. Like, I'm not convincing nobody of nothing. If you look, you can see. But you got to dig deep and believe. All right, let me keep going. Yeah, it is a real tough moment. I mean it, though. What verse are we on, y'all? What verse am I on? I didn't got sidetracked. Okay, verse 46. I think I'm on verse 46. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 46. All right, y'all with me? Have y'all invited somebody? Start tagging some people. We got a few more minutes. We're getting close to the end. We got a few more minutes. I want you to start. Good. Thank you, Sister Swan. I knew you would follow me here. Verse 17, chapter 17, verse 46. Love you too, Dad. Look at this. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 46. New Living Translation says this. Today the Lord will conquer you. This is David talking to Goliath. Today the Lord will conquer you, and I will kill you and cut off your head. And then I will give the dead bodies of your men. Let me make this big. I completely forgot to make this bigger today. I knew something was off with my screen. I feel like I'm reading a size 6 font. Okay. Let's start this over again. First, that's much better. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 46 says this: Today the Lord will conquer you, and I will kill you and cut off your head. And then I will give the dead bodies of your men to the birds and wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. Verse 47, and everyone assembled here will know that the Lord rescues his people, but not with sword and spear. This is the Lord's battle, and he will give you to us. Now, this is what I like about David. This is what I like about David. David told him what he was going to do to him before he did it. Man, I ain't got time to preach. This is a word that I really wish I was in a microphone screaming right now. David told Goliath what he was going to do to Goliath before he did it to Goliath. And let me tell you what big energy is. Big energy is when you can look people in the face and tell them what's about to happen in your life, and it comes to pass. Big energy, big faith is when you can look the devil in the face and say, I'm about to do this. This is about to happen for me. And it happens. And some of y'all ain't got big energy because you don't have big faith. And the way to get this kind of energy that David got, this big energy that David got, where you can tell Goliath what you're going to do to him before you do it, the way to get that kind of big energy, you got to have big faith. You got to have more faith in who's with you than you have in what's against you. And some of y'all are so busy paying attention to what's against you that you don't have the kind of energy and the kind of faith to shoot your shot. This is shooting your shot. Not some of this weak game that y'all let people run on y'all. They ain't shooting no shot. This is the definition of shooting your shot. The definition of shooting your shot is looking your circumstances in the face. Watch. And saying, this is what this is going to be. I know what the doctor said about my health, but this is how I'm going to come out of this. And this is going to be the net income output of this. And this is how I'm going to come out healed. I know your finances look a certain kind of way and you're struggling financially. Shooting your shot is looking your financial situation in the face and saying, nope, not going out like that. We're going to make these changes. We're going to make these adjustments. And in 6 months from now, I'm going to be in an entirely different situation. Shooting your shot is having the faith to call the outcome. I want you to record this. Shooting your shot is having the faith to call out the outcome. And some of y'all ain't doing that because it takes big energy. It takes big faith to have that kind of energy. You got to have big faith. You got to have big confidence. David walks up to this man like, look, dude, let me tell you what I'm about to do to you. I'm going to deal with you. I'm going to cut your head off. I'm going to give your body and the body of the men and everybody else around you to the birds and the animals. And then we're going to go celebrate. That's a different level of confidence. Let me tell you something. That kind of confidence does nothing but pull great things to you. It does nothing but attract great things to you. When you can call your shot and then have the faith to go after it. I want to challenge some of you in the season of your life to stop looking at your circumstances, watch this, and replaying the bad of the circumstance. You got to stop replaying the past, y'all. Are y'all listening to me? You have to stop replaying the past. You have to stop replaying what already happened. You got to stop replaying what the devil already did. You got to stop replaying what the devil already said. You got to stop replaying the odds that are stacked against you. Stop playing the old story. And you set the future story by playing a new story. You got to stop replaying the past. David didn't get into, oh, well, you know, the other men were scared of you. And no, David said, listen, this is what I'm going to do to you. And he created the future by shooting his shot in the present and having the faith that created an energy that gave him the strength to go after it. That's what you got to do. I never let circumstances change my language, but my language changes my circumstance. Somebody need to record that. Never let circumstances change your language, but let your language change your circumstances. Are you listening to me? Never let circumstances change your language. You got to let your language change your circumstances. David could care less what this man was, who he was, where he came from, how big he was, how afraid anybody else was. No. David did something that was powerful. He let his language, he let his faith give him big energy. And he put his language on his circumstance. And his circumstance had to line up with his language. If you start saying stuff like, I'm already healed. No, better than that. Not I'm already healed. That's so churchy. I mean, it works. That's so churchy. If you start saying stuff like, I am healed. Nope, this ain't going to defeat me. I'm healed. Everything is already well. You got to have that kind of energy when it comes to your life. When it comes to the things that you desire for your life. When it comes to the things, the circumstances in your life. You got to have the kind of energy that speaks in future tense in the present. Don't let the circumstances change your language. You got to let your language change your circumstances. Are y'all with me? Look at this. I'm almost done. Verse 48. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 48. Y'all hear that little chirp that just started? Where's Sister Carissa at? Because I know Sister Carissa like to call me out. Now, y'all notice when the broadcast started, that didn't happen. I don't understand. Anyway. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 48, New Living Translation. Look at this. As Goliath moved closer to attack, David quickly ran out to meet him. So David wasn't afraid of the giant. The giant came, and David ran toward the giant. I ain't got a lot of time to spend here, but let me just say this. You're going to know your faith is right when you start running toward your problems and not from them. I want you to record that. You're going to know your faith and your courage is right. Yeah, it is trying to cause distraction. You're going to know your faith and your courage is right when you start running toward your problems and not from them. Some of y'all runners, you track stars. You're going to run away when it get hard. That's what you do. You're a runner, you're a track star. And you run from your problems. You don't have that kind of David energy. You're going to know your faith and your courage is right when your problems come to you and you run towards your problems. I ain't ignoring nothing in this season. I'm not ignoring nothing that comes for me in this season. If a problem, especially problems, if problems and challenges run towards me, I'm not ignoring challenges in this season. I'm in a season of my life where I want every challenge that comes my way. Because you're going to know, again, your faith and courage is good when you start running toward your problems and not from them. Some of y'all got to stop running so much. All you do is run. Things get hard, you run. Problems come, you run. Relationship gets tough, you run. Marriage gets tough, you run. Work situation gets tough, you quit. Some of y'all have quit more jobs in the last 2 years than most of us have quit the last 20. All you do is run when it gets hard. And you got to stop. Stop being a runner. Stop being a track star. Stop. And be like David. When problems come towards you, run towards them. Because when you send that kind of energy, when hard times come towards you and you don't bow out, run away, you run towards those problems, I'm here to tell you, that's big energy. That's big. You know what? I learned this a long time ago. Nothing makes even a bully afraid more than when a bully steps up to you and you step back. Because all of a sudden, that bully realizes there's something inside of you that ain't afraid of the situation. And there's a whole lot of spiritual bullies in many of your lives that keep attacking you because when they come towards you, you run away from them. Y'all stop running so much. When stuff get hard, stop running so much. When things get difficult, stop running so much. When people flake on you, stop running so much. When things seem like they're about to fall apart, stop running so much. Stop. And you understand that sometimes the best response is to tighten your bootstraps and run toward your problem instead of running from them. You will never solve a problem you run away from. This is practical, y'all. You will never solve a problem that you run away from. I don't care what it is. I don't care what the problem is. I don't care what it's concerning. You will never solve a problem that you run away from. And some of y'all ain't solved nothing in your life. Why? Because every time things get hard, you run. Every time things get challenging, you run. And when you run from challenges, you're going to live a basic, average life. Everything about your life will be basic. David could have been basic just like the rest of these men who let this giant scare them. He could have been just like them and lived a basic old soldier life like the rest of them and been basic. But David understood something, that the key to living an exceptional life is not running when things get hard, not running away when things get hard, but running to when things get hard. Baby, if it's easy, I don't want no parts of it. I'm like Tupac. I don't even like it if it's easy. I don't want it if it's too easy. That's in anything. There ought to be something inside of you that clicks when things get hard for you not to run away from it, but to run to it. I tell my boss all the time, listen, we got a problem that needs to be solved. Put me on it. Everybody else running from the problem. No, put me on the problems that folk can't solve. Put me on the problems that people are afraid of. Give me the students that can't nobody fix and help. Give me them. That's a different kind of energy. Because that's an energy that says you not only have a faith in the one that's riding with you, but you also got faith in yourself. And y'all, listen, nothing makes things happen for you. Nothing makes things happen for you better than you having faith in yourself. You worried about people having faith in you. Bump that. Who cares if people got faith in you or not? That's irrelevant. You want to know what brings big and great things into your life? When you believe in yourself. Negro, I don't need nobody to believe in me. I believe in me. I don't need nobody to like me. I like me. That's big energy. That's big boy energy. That's big girl energy. And you got to show up in spaces when things get hard with that kind of energy. Because when you do, then all of a sudden, you're working less for hand claps. You're working less for back pats. You're working less for all of that stuff. And you are living with an understanding that at the end of the day, as long as you believe in the one that's with you, you believe in yourself, everything gonna be kosher. You don't need applause. You don't need support. But you got to stop running. You got to start running towards your problems. And you got to understand that circumstances, you can't let circumstances change your language. You can't let circumstances change what you believe, how you believe. But you got to let your language change your circumstances. When you do that, nothing can stop you. Go after the hard challenges in your life. Don't run from them. Go after the difficult opportunities that are presented in your life. Don't run from them. Because when you can solve that, that's a different kind of energy. Come on, y'all. You can't be average. You and average can't be in the same breath. One of the things that I know I've personally been called to do, I'm well aware of what I'm called to and what I ain't. Sometimes it annoys people because what a lot of preachers are called to, I'm not called to. And that's just that. And this is what it is, and this is what it's going to be. So I know what I'm called to and what I ain't called to. And one of the things that I know I'm called to is making people live non-average lives. I'm called to that. I'm called to inspiring people to live non-average lives. And let me tell you something, whether it's through ministry, whether it's through the personal coaching and consulting that I do, it's a part of my business, or whether it's what I do in higher ed and as a part of my career, profession, whatever. I have never, I coach people to never run away from hard moments. Mm-mm, mm-mm. You might have other people involved in the hard moments that they run away. Let them run. That's on them. But don't you ever run away from a hard moment. Don't you ever run away from a problem that seems too difficult to solve, because I'm telling you, when you solve it, it's a different level of gratitude. It's a different level of good feeling when you can solve a problem that everybody else ran from. This is how I know. Watch this. Some of you think, because it's almost thirst trap cuffing season, relationship series time. And then I know the number's going to be sky high because I'm going to be on here talking junk. But let me just say this to y'all. Some of you think that even the relationship, watch this. Some of you think that even the relationship or the marriage that God has for you, that you desire for you, is going to be this Prince Charming, this Princess Charming that's going to come with no problems, that's going to come with no challenges. Y'all don't like this kind of teaching. That's going to come with no problems, that's going to come with no challenges, that's going to come with no obstacles, that's going to come with no issues. But I'm here to tell you, and I know this from personal experience, I know this from experience connected to people who had long-term meaningful relationships, long-term meaningful marriages, long-term meaningful friendships. This is what I've discovered, that more often than not, those relationships, those marriages, those situations that have lasted the test of time have also come with a whole slew of battles. And some of you think that the relationship that God got for you, that you desire for you, is just going to be so easy when you get it. And here's the problem. If it were that easy, they'd already be taken. If it were that easy, they would be off the market, and so would you. The reality is, some of the best relationships, some of the most long-lasting relationships are also relationships that are filled with a lot of challenges. I did not say drama, because a challenge and drama are two totally different things. I did not say drama, I said challenges. Why? Because challenges that you pursue and go after, challenges that you pursue and go after and solve, takes the bond of that relationship and makes it stronger. Some of you, God's going to give you a relationship that other people envy. But listen, in order to have a relationship that other people envy, in that relationship, you might have to go through some problems that other people never had to go through. Oh, it's quiet. The comments are quiet. Instagram has stopped talking. Are y'all listening to me? Yeah, you want a nice relationship? You want a nice marriage? You want nice friendships? Let me tell you something. In order for some of you to get those nice relationships, friendships, all of that stuff, some of you are going to have to go through some problems and some challenges to give you what you're asking for. Because again, like Tupac said, if it was that easy, everybody would have it. Thank you, Uzo. Uzo, the only one saying amen. Church, whole church got quiet. YouTube quiet, Instagram quiet, Facebook quiet, everybody quiet. Y'all don't like this, but it come there. Look, the moderators just said it best. I don't know who's moderating today on Facebook, but they nailed it. It comes with a cost. It just does. If you're going to have a significant relationship, it comes with a cost. If you're going to be with somebody of significance, it comes with a cost. Now, you can go ahead and get somebody raggedy and not have to pay nothing. I mean, raggedy don't cost nothing. But if you're going to get something significant, it comes with a cost. And if you know your value, you understand that people are going to be connected to you, it's going to come with a price. Now, I don't know about y'all. I can't speak for none of y'all. But let me talk about pastor. To be connected to pastor in any way comes with a cost. Ain't nothing over here cheap. Tough. Tough. Ain't nothing over here cheap. There's a price to be in my life. It comes with a cost to be in my life in any way. But here's the good news. I'm worth it. Somebody needs to type that in the comment. If you know it comes with a price for people to be with you, to be connected to you, I want you to type in the comments right now, I'm worth it. This ain't even in the notes. This is getting good to me. I want you to type it in the comments, I'm worth it. If you know it comes with a price, a cost for people to be in your life, whether that's romantically, friendships, family, relationships, marriage, whatever. If you know it comes with a cost for people to be in your life, I want you to type in the comments right now, I'm worth it. Yeah, ain't nothing cheap over here. You're going to have to pay. If you want to be in my life, you're going to have to pay. And I'm not talking no 5 for $5 Wendy's, no number 10, large 10 with sweet and sour sauce McDonald's. You're going to have to pay some money. You're going to have to pay in some time and an attention. Come on, put it, I'm worth it. Uzo said, I'm worth it on Jesus sandals, period. So I'm worth, you got to have that. You got to have that kind of mentality. That's right, Mother Brenda. You have to have that mentality. I'm worth it. It costs to be connected to me. Ain't nothing free over here. Ain't nothing on discount over here. Ain't nothing easy over here. You want to be in my life, be with me? There's a little price you got to pay. Sometimes that price means people going to talk about you. People going to criticize you. People going to evaluate you. They're going to look you up and down. Heck, I can't even post a picture on social media without some of you Negroes thinking somebody took it. Like, there's a price. Are y'all listening to me? There's a price to be with some of us, to be around some of us, to be connected to some of us. And everybody don't have what it takes to pay that. Everybody don't have what it takes. And that's okay. But what you can't do is you can't give away your value for free. Ain't no discounts over here. Ain't no 2-for-1 over here. Ain't no blue light special. Remember Kmart used to have them blue light specials? You pull up Kmart. Come on, some of y'all like y'all ain't never shopped at Kmart, and you a liar. We used to go to Kmart all the time. And you pull up at Kmart and the little blue light be on, that means you can get a deal, baby. Every time you pull in my house, every time you come around me, there's never a blue light. I ain't got a blue light in here. Nowhere. Ain't no blue lights in here. I don't even like the color blue. Ain't no discounts over here. Ain't no blue lights blinking. And y'all got to have the same energy about your life. All right, let me wrap this up because I feel like I'm getting on this tangent. So look at this. 1 Samuel chapter 7. Some of y'all mad. I'm talking about your relationship now. I'm talking about your value. You shouldn't be mad. You should know your value. Stop giving folk discount and tell people straight up, listen, you want to do this? You want to be connected to me? If you want to just be my friend, because it ain't always about romance. It's not. Sometimes some of y'all need to tell your friends this, because some of y'all got cheap friends. They cheat and you cheat, and we know you cheat because of how you let them treat you and handle you. Some of you need to even just tell your friends, listen, you're going to be friends with me, connected to me. Ain't nothing cheap over here. There's a price in being connected to me. You ain't going to talk to me any kind of way. You ain't going to handle me any kind of way. You're going to respect me. I'm going to respect you. Come on. You have to set your value. You ain't bringing unnecessary drama in my life. I love you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to be an ear to talk to you. But baby, we ain't going to be able to talk every day because I got a purpose. I can't text you all day, 24/7, because I got a job and a business and a family and kids. I can't talk to you 24/7. See, that's called setting your cost and setting your value. So it ain't always romantic. Sometimes it's in friends too, but you better set it and stop being cheap. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 49. Oh, y'all quiet now. Look at this. Instagram is silent. Got some of y'all's nerves, didn't it? Look at this. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 49. Reaching into his shepherd's bag and taking out a stone, he hurled it with his sling and hit the Philistine in the forehead. David throws a rock at him. The stone sank in, and Goliath stumbled and fell face down on the ground. Verse 50. So David triumphed over the Philistine with only a sling and a stone, for he had no sword. Then David ran over and pulled Goliath's sword from his sheath. David used it to kill him and cut off his head. This is the last bullet point I want to give you. Because what is so awesome here is this. David startles the Philistine with a rock. He kills the Philistine with his own weapon. This is a word, man. Man, this is a word right here. Listen to what I said. David startles, he knocks down the Philistine with a rock, but he kills him with his own sword. Some of you are going to make progress with limited resources, but you're going to kill your giant with their own weapons. This is why y'all need to stop wasting time trying to defend yourself, trying to get back at people, trying to do tit for tat for people. If you just be patient, God will put you in a position where you can defeat your enemies with their own swords. For some of you, your enemy swords are their mouth. All they do is run their mouth. And here you are back and forth. If there's one thing I can't stand to see, I can't stand to see social media arguments. I hate it. I hate seeing people go back and forth on social media arguing. Y'all arguing, you tagging each other in posts, you in the comments on the thread, going back and forth arguing. That's crazy, man. Y'all can save all of that energy and understand this, that if you just work with what you got, God will position you to not only win with what you got, but he'll let the words of your enemies cause them to dig themselves in their own grave. Gotta stop. God's going to position some of you to defeat your enemy with their sword. I want you to record that. That's your last bullet. Sorry, it took me a while to get there. God's going to position some of you. God's going to position you to defeat your enemy with their sword. God's going to cause some of you to defeat your enemy with their own weapon. For them, it might not be a sword. It might be them running their mouth. It might be them not being supported. It might be them being an audience and not being support. I don't know what it is. Only you know what your Goliaths are. But I'm here to tell you, God's going to position some of you to defeat your enemy, but it's going to be using their weapon. Stop going back and forth with people. Stop going back and forth with people. You stop worrying about what you ain't got. Stop worrying about who you ain't got. And just understand that sometimes all you got to do is just show up with him on your side. All right? That making sense to y'all? Did this bless anybody? I'm done. This bless anybody today? This series bless anybody today? This was a very powerful series. This is one of the most powerful series I think I've taught. And what was so powerful about it is that oftentimes we hear the story of David and Goliath, but we don't hear it in the context of courage. We hear it in the context of things like leadership and audiences. You probably never heard David and Goliath taught this way. But the story of David and Goliath is a powerful one because it is a reminder that at the end of the day, it ain't really about who's with you. At the end of the day, it ain't really about who's showing up in your corner. In fact, you're going to get to a place, most of you are going to get to a place where your life is progressing so much and big things are going to want to be happening for you in such a great way that the higher you get, the thinner the air going to get. Meaning, the smaller the crowd, the smaller the supporter, the bigger the devil, the bigger the enemy, the smaller the support. It just works that way. I can't explain it other than to say, when God's doing great things in your life, expect the crowd around you to thin out. Expect the devil against you to get bigger. Some of y'all need to remember that. That ain't even in my notes. I shut my laptop and say it again. Some of you going to know that as you're going towards your purpose, the audience around you is going to get smaller and the devil in front of you is going to get bigger. It's just how it works. And that's how you know you've been called to do great things. That's how you know you've been called to accomplish great things. That's how you know you've been called for great things to happen in your life. Why? Because the crowd around you gets smaller and the devil in front of you gets bigger. Now, it doesn't mean you don't have a lot of people that don't know you. You have a lot of people that know you. Heck, you have 10,000 Instagram friends. Your Snapchat score can be on 40,000. You can have 5,000 Facebook friends. Everybody can know you. But the people that are really there for you, that number gets small and smaller and smaller as your life gets greater and greater and greater. I can't explain it. It's just what it is. That makes sense to anybody? This message bless anybody today? Hmm? Listen, I want to pray for you. You got a prayer request. I want to pray for you now. I want you to know that I'm up 4:15 every morning, and I pray over your prayer request. I pray over the things concerning you, and this week will be no exception. I've got a blistering week this week. It's going to be incredibly insane and very busy for me, um, but I'm going to be praying for you, and I hope that you all will be praying for me. So if you got a prayer request, you can type it in the comments now. If we see it, we can try to get it up on the screen, and we will pray over your prayer request. If not, you can email your prayer request. Maybe you've got a prayer request that is too personal, that you don't want anybody to see. You can email your prayer request to info@rehabcc.org. That's info@rehabcc.org. But I want I want to give you 40 seconds really quickly to type in your prayer request. Change your weather cold. I want to give you 40 seconds to type in your prayer request. So that we can pray over your request. I always try to go back and watch the replay, at least this part, every Sunday night, and watch and look at your prayer request to make sure that those prayer requests are embedded in my heart this week, because I want to pray for you. I want to pray for you. I want to pray for your situation, your circumstance, whatever it is that you're in. So come on, type it quickly. I see them starting to run through. Come on, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever your prayer request is, I want you to type it. If you got a prayer request that we cannot see, I want you again to email your prayer request to info@rehabcc.org. Put in the subject line prayer request. That's info@rehabcc.org. And put in the subject line prayer request. And those prayer requests will come routed to my email address. We'll read it and we will respond. But I want you to know I'm praying for you. Good. Control of my thoughts and emotions. Absolutely praying for that. Praying over challenges at your job. I'm right there with you. I was just telling somebody yesterday about a whole litany of prayer challenges that I've had in this new role. But I haven't been running from them. And I don't want you to run from yours either. God's going to make a way from you. I run to problems, even on my job. And I want you to do that as the same. Praying for you, praying for your daughter, family, pastor. Thank you so much. This is good. They're all starting to come in. Martin's needs your prayers. These seasonal allergies. Yes, I know many of you have allergies in this season. For me, I know the weather's really changing because I get a change of weather cold. And it's typically 2 to 3 weeks long. And I woke up this morning feeling it. So I'm certainly praying for you, praying for your healing. Those of you that are sick, that are going through difficult moments, that God will certainly pray for you. That God, will certainly heal you. Will make a way for you. Yes, praying for healing, financial assistance, shelter for family, prayers for my family and friends. Absolutely. Increase on your job. Praying for that elder Missy. I'm even praying as the season turns for those folks that are homeless, that don't have anywhere to live. This time of the year always is on my heart heavily for people who sleep outside, who have nowhere to stay. As the season is changing, as it's getting colder, that God would make a way for them, that he would continue to touch the hearts of us and others to find ways that we can be a blessing to them. It's so important. Come on, y'all. 15 more seconds. If there are any more prayer requests, I want you to type them in now. I want you to know I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your family. I'm praying for your situation. I'm praying for your circumstance, that God would bless you, that God would make a way in your life as only he can. Listen, let's pray. Let's pray. I want you to connect your hands, clasp your hands together as a sign, a symbol of faith, as if you're touching my hand, as if we are holding hands. I want you to hold your hands like this as a sign, a symbol of faith. Touch and agree with me. We're getting ready to pray together. All right, let's do it together. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you for your word, and thank you for this time of gathering you've given us. I pray that something was said or done that has encouraged somebody, that has convicted somebody in a special way to live for you, to serve you, to do the will and work of your kingdom. I pray this prayer, God, that you would not only answer the prayers of your people, but that you would make ways as only you can. That, God, you would meet needs, open doors, that you would create new opportunities for your people, that you would handle and heal emotional, financial, physical distress, mental distress. That this week somebody might experience a week of healing and wholeness and wellness like they never had before. Open up doors as only you can. Make ways as only you can. God, grant peace and serenity as only you can. Somebody on this call, watching this replay, above money, above finances, above relationships, above jobs and careers, above cars and clothes and money. Somebody watching this video now, this message now, listening to this prayer now, wants above everything else peace. Somebody just wants peace of mind. Somebody wants peace in their spirit. Somebody wants peace for their family. Somebody wants peace in their relationships. Somebody wants peace on their jobs. God, I pray that you would send the spirit of peace to your people this week as only you can. That you would send the spirit of comfort as only you can, the spirit of serenity as only you can. That, God, we would not get agitated about the things we can't change, but that we would find the serenity and the grace to accept those things, knowing that you can handle it. God, I speak peace into the lives of your people, the kind of peace that encourages healing, the kind of peace that encourages financial breakthrough, the kind of peace that encourages new opportunities, new doors being opened. God, we speak this into the lives of your people, and we believe this week to be a peaceful, restful week like only you can provide it. We count these things done, and we believe you for them. In Jesus' name, amen. Listen, if you prayed that prayer of faith with me, I want you to type it in the comments now. It is so. Quickly. Type it quickly. It is so. It is so. Every time you say amen, you're simply saying it is so. I don't know if you realize that, but the word amen simply means it is so. If you prayed that prayer of faith, whether you're watching live or replay, I want you to type in the comments, it is so. It is so. It is so. It is so. God's answering your prayers. When you say it is so, you're saying you believe it's already done. You're saying that you believe it's already in motion. And I want you to know that God's doing that for you. It is so. It is so. It's going to be a peaceful week for you. You're going to get some rest this week. The eye bags under your eyes, like what Pastor got, are going to decrease this week. You're going to get some rest. God's going to give you peace about your situation, about your circumstance. He's going to take the strength of the fight out of you and give you the strength to give the fight back to him. The battle doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the Lord. And some of you are tired because you've been fighting. Some of you are emotionally tired because you've been fighting. You're mentally drained because you've been fighting. You're physically drained because you've been fighting. You've been fighting. You've been trying to fight and fix all of these battles on your own. God says this week, I'm taking the strength out of your fight and I'm going to take the battle back from you. And you've got to let him fight the battle for you. If you do that, I'm telling you, he's going to make a way for you as only he can. Listen, y'all, if there's anybody that wants to be saved, if there's anybody that wants to dedicate their life to Christ, if there's anybody that wants to recommit their life to Christ, listen, Romans 10:9 tells us that if we confess with our mouths, if we believe with our hearts that Jesus Christ is who he is and did what he did for us, we are saved. Salvation is about confession. It's not about perfection. It's not about doing the perfect thing. It's not about always doing the right thing. Salvation is about coming to an understanding of the one who was able to save you in spite of you. That's the God we serve. We don't serve a God that expects perfection out of you. He wants you to strive. Don't misunderstand me. He wants you to strive toward perfection. But understand, he does not expect perfection. Why? Because if you could be perfect, there would be no reason for him to live and die. And so I want you to understand today that salvation is a matter of confession. It's a matter of understanding that you serve a God that is greater than your flaws. It's greater than your challenges. That's greater than all of your problems and can save you in spite of them. If you want to be saved today, I want you to stop what you're doing. If you're driving, I want to give you a moment to pull over. If you're eating brunch, I want you to put down the bacon and the sausage. If you're laying in the bed, I want you to sit up in your bed right now. If you're on the beach, sit up in the beach chair. If you're at the pool by the lake, I want you to give me your full attention because I want you to repeat this prayer of faith. Why? Because God wants to save you right where you are. All right. If you want to be saved, I want you to repeat this prayer of faith. Say this with me. I'm a sinner. I'm not perfect. I have some flaws. And I even have some failures. But I do believe that Jesus Christ was born of a virgin, lived on this earth just like I'm living. He suffered, bled, and died on the cross. But 3 days later, rose again for my sins. Because he lives, I can live, and I am saved. My friends, if you prayed that prayer of faith with me, I want to welcome you to the royal family of Jesus Christ. You have made one of the most powerful, decisions you could have ever made in your life, and that is giving your life over to him. Now, here's what I need from you. I need you to find you a church home somewhere, anywhere. I don't care. Go find you a church home. Maybe it's in your local vicinity. We have people that tune in to us from all across the country. Maybe it's in your local vicinity. Find you a church home where you can be a part of that ministry, whether it's virtual or in person, or a hybrid approach like what we will have. Just find you a church home that is a Bible teaching, Bible preaching church, and go be a part of that ministry. All right. Go join that ministry. Be a part of that ministry. Dedicate your time, talent, and treasure there so God can grow you. Maybe you're watching this broadcast and rehab is the place you want to be. I received a video today from one of my virtual members yesterday for Pastoral Appreciation Month, and which is so powerful. Just hearing her call me pastor. Never met her a day in my life, and in person, that is. And just to hear her call me pastor was really a blessing, and really spoke to the reach that the Rehab Christian Center has. Maybe you've been tuning into this broadcast, and this ministry has been a blessing to you, and you want to be a part of it. Listen. All you got to do is type membership in the comments. Just type the word membership, hashtag membership, and one of our moderators will reach out to you. And we would love to welcome you to the Rehab Christian Center. We're not the largest church by no means. We're not the biggest church, not the loudest church. We don't have the most resources, but we are without a doubt the nicest church on the entire planet. And that's good enough for me. We call ourselves the perfect place for imperfect people. And we would love for you to be a part of our growing ministry. Listen, just simply type in the comments, hashtag membership, and somebody will reach out to you, get some information, and we would love to welcome you in. All right. Really quickly, if this ministry has been a blessing to you, if this broadcast has been a blessing to you, I want to challenge you to give. I want to challenge you to sow a seed today that is a reflection of how this message has been a blessing to you. Listen, Pastor is giving his tithes and offering. CashAPP my tithes and offering on Friday, as soon as I got paid. Because I believe in giving it to God right off the top, the same way that he's blessed me. And so I want to challenge you to give today, to sow a seed, an offering seed, to give your tithe, sow an offering seed today. And we promise you, God will bless you because of that. You can give one of three ways. You can give via CashAPP, $REHABCCGIVE. That's $REHABCCGIVE. You can give on our website by visiting www.rehabcc.org and simply choose online giving. That's www.rehabcc.org and choose online giving. Or you can give through your cell phone by texting REHABWORKS. Text REHABWORKS to 88202. That's REHABWORKS to 88202. And right to your cell phone, you'll get a prompt. Click on that prompt. You can follow the instructions and you can give right from your cell phone. Again, one of three ways you can be a blessing to us. You can give via CashAPP, $REHABCCGIVE. That's $REHABCCGIVE. Our website, www.rehabcc.org. Or you can text REHABWORKS to 88202. Text REHABWORKS to 88202. And right to your cell phone, you'll see a prompt. Follow that prompt and you can give right from where you are. And we promise you, God is going to bless you. How? Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over. He's going to bring somebody into your life. He's going to send people into your life that are going to give back to you as only he can. How is he going to do it? Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, and running over. And we believe him to do that. And so I want to challenge you to give today. And we know God is going to bless you. Now, again, don't forget, tomorrow night, 10:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be right back here for part 3 of our Tuesday night series, Stop Making Everything So Hard. And we're going to dive deeper into some of the childhood wounds that have really impacted your abilities to have relationships, meaningful relationships in your life. And y'all, it might get a little touchy, but we want you to tune in tomorrow night, 10:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Rehab After Dark, where we're going to deal with, again, part 3 of Stop Making Everything So Hard. We're going to just really dive into these childhood wounds. It's going to be powerful and it's going to be personal. And we're going to talk about some things, and I can't wait to see you. So we're going to be on all the networks. I normally just do that on YouTube Live. I think the last time we did it was just YouTube Live. But I'm going to do all the networks, and I may even stream this to my personal YouTube page, maybe even my personal Facebook page as well. I don't know. But we want you to tune in. I'm going to challenge all of you to tune in. I promise you this is going to be powerful, and I can't wait to see you. And then meet us again on Tuesday, 7:08 p.m. Sharp for part 4 of Stop Making Everything So Hard. So you got a little mini revival this week, And I hope you will take advantage, tune in, and be empowered by the word. Listen, y'all, I love you guys. I'm praying for you. If you're going to be going out for Halloween tonight, taking your children out, whatever you're going to do, be very careful tonight. Be very careful and be very mindful of your situation. Be very safe. And if nothing fails, I'll make plans to see you on tomorrow night. Listen, y'all, I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you and your family. And I want you to have a fantastic Sunday. All right. Love you. Praying for you. Peace and blessings.
Thank you for watching the Rehab Christian Center live experience. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, you can sow a seed into his ministry by CashAPP at $ Pastor ZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encouraged, enlightened, and empowered you to be better. Please tune in Tuesday at 7:08 p.m. for our life study experience. And as always, be blessed and have a wonderful week.